Emerson, thanks for joining us. Now, we're at the Gartner Orlando Conference on Data and AI. Yesterday, you had a great session where you took the quite crowded group through the new Microsoft Fabric offering. Tell us a little bit about what you were talking about and what were the key takeaways for those who could not make it.
Thank you, Tim. So yesterday I talked about strategy and how you kind of get it to the execution phase, right? Strategy, we'll talk about the data foundation, so that's what I covered. I actually had the opportunity to ask the crowd, I said, do you want to see strategy?
Yeah.
And all of them basically raised their hand.
Yeah.
And I asked you, do you want to see some demos? Everyone raised their hand. Yeah. So basically they bought both, right?
Who wants to see both? I think that was what you said, right?
Yes. Yeah. So the goal from yesterday was about how you build your foundations for AI. So I kind of went into building the domain so that you know the sections of the data that you would like to get to. Next one would be the foundations of data governance, the foundations of data management, and how you kind of enable the different domains and business units, what have you, with data and the tools that they need, as an example. So that's the end to it.
Perfect.
And then get to some of the, how do we make it real for Microsoft Fabric?
Right.
Yes.
Right. So obviously AI, people come to Microsoft to talk about AI, right?
Yes.
You were one of the early players in that space with Azure OpenAI. You have increased the investment with things like Azure AI Studio, which allows people to build their own co-pilots and host open source models.
Right.
We had a chat today together with the crowd.
Yes.
And what we talked about is the kind of process of going into building your own co-pilot, and not so much about just how easy Microsoft has made people to do that.
Right.
But more what happens behind the scenes to make sure that Copilot will do the right things from a security, a privacy, a quality perspective.
Yes.
And what were some of the key takeaways that you thought the audience found from that talk that you and I had?
Perfect. I think the most misconception when it comes to AI is AI will solve my data problems.
Right.
Which is the other way around.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the talk today, it was very clear that you have to have governance and data management so that you can build a powerful AI. You don't want to have hallucinations.
Yeah.
You don't want to have data leaking into the AI platform.
Yeah.
I love the demo that you said there that you asked, what is this guy's salary?
Yeah.
And without governance, it showed. Right?
Yeah.
Would you like your salary to be
exactly.
public? So
yeah.
I think that was a great kind of like example on how you should look at AI.
Yeah.
If you don't have governance and all proper data management, AI will just basically surface things that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And data is not just in the data lakes, the databases. It is also in Teams and emails and what have you. So having that governance at that wider scope is important if you want AI to cover a wider scope. So I love how CluedIn actually solved that big problem.
Excellent. So governance, when we talk about governance with Microsoft, we would be remiss without talking about Microsoft Purview.
Yes.
It brings both those defensive elements of data governance and the offensive parts.
Yes.
The parts about adding value to data, but also getting value out of data, right? What are the importance of having tools like Microsoft Purview included in the stack when companies are thinking about AI?
I love it that you talked about the defense and the offense.
Yeah.
Because from a strategy perspective, it has to have that balance between defense and offense. The problem that I'm seeing right now, for example, is too much defense is not opening up the data.
Yeah.
Too much kind of like opening that data will kind of get into trouble.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So Microsoft Purview kind of take care of all of that. Right? From the time you're trying to discover that data, the time to classify that data, the time to kind of give more elements of data so that me, when I'm looking at that data, I have better understanding about that data, right? So Microsoft Purview is not also about Azure and just databases, what have you. Like I mentioned, it's like spans all over to the emails and what have you. So Microsoft Purview is critical as a foundation when it comes to building, the end-to-end data estate, operationalization of your data.
Yeah, exactly. So in your Fabric talk, you kind of had all these categories that need to be taken care of, and check. We got data governance.
Yes.
We got data cataloging.
Yes.
For the master data management, data quality pieces, that's really where CluedIn comes and helps Microsoft customers have this native kind of Azure solution.
Yes.
It looks like Microsoft. It integrates with the entire stack from Purview.
Yes.
And for us, I'm just really grateful for the amazing partnership that we have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm really happy.
And what I really love about the solutions you're bringing to the table are solutions that we can extend beyond what we can provide, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have so many clients, we're focusing on what the client needs, but there are clients who's who have specific needs, right? So bringing your solutions, such as, for example, how do you build ontology on your data? I think that would be pretty cool to kind of like, how do we expedite that in a client? And then you kind of like having used that and built that and what have you, really bring a lot of value to our client.